Hello, my friends. I'm here because we need some stress relief at the moment. It's a very interesting time, and I know a lot of you have been suffering from not being able to get a good quality sleep, that you're feeling anxiety, you're feeling stress, and you're feeling down. You've got some low moods. So I put this video together to support you in the way that I can, and that's with empowering you with the information that will really impact your moods, your sleep, and your anxiety. Hopefully give you that relief that you're looking for. So I'm going to do a little bit of a deep dive today, guys. I don't want to just do surface level stuff, take this, take that. I actually want to go through and give you a little bit of background information as to kind of what's happening in the body, the different parts of the nervous system, neurotransmitters, and how we can support those, especially like the neurotransmitters, and being created healthily to support a healthy mood and a healthy sleep. So I'm going to be giving you some lifestyle tips. I'm going to be giving you some nutritional tips, so different foods that really support the mood. I'm going to tell you about specific supplements that you can use. I'm going to be telling you about essential oils that are really specific, and then just different things that you can do from a lifestyle perspective in terms of little activities and stuff that you can do to make you feel better. So I think it's really important to kind of start with the foundationals of what is happening in the body when you become stressed. So I think we'll start with the nervous system. For you guys who don't know, there's actually two divisions of the nervous system. So there's the one that a lot of you would be familiar with, and that's our sympathetic nervous system, which is like our fight or flight response portion of the nervous system. So that's the one that if we sense a stress, then it will react by raising our cortisol levels, raising our adrenaline levels. So it's basically the part of the nervous system that was designed to help us run away from a physical stress. So if we're back in the Paleolithic days and we were running away from a saber-toothed tiger, this is the part of the nervous system that would become activated and help us to run away. So it gets the heart pumping, which is why when we're stressed, we get potentially palpitations. It increases blood pressure, gets those stress hormones going, gets us sweating, gets us shaking. Like these are all things that we're supposed to support our bodies in getting away from something stressful. Now, the issue is in our modern day life, our bodies don't know how to differentiate a stress that's real, such as a physical stress, or a psycho-emotional stress. So with all of this kind of lockdown stuff, obviously that's a stress. So our body perceives, there's four main things that our body perceives as stress. There's the mental emotional, which we're all very much familiar with at the moment. There's the inflammation in our body. So if we're having allergies, gut inflammation, environmental toxins, cardiovascular disease, obesity, like they're all things that the body senses as stress. So we've done the, what have we done? I've forgotten what we're talking. Oh yes, so we've done the psycho-emotional and the inflammatory. The third one is the changes in the circadian rhythm. So when we are in a healthy state of getting to sleep at the right time and then waking up at the right time, that keeps our inflammation levels down and keeps our neurotransmitters balanced. So having disturbances in our light, so getting like too much light at nighttime or not sleeping at the correct times, getting too much TV, our body actually senses that as a stress. And the last one is our glycemic index. So that is talking about blood sugar dysregulation. So if we're having like spikes and troughs in our blood sugar throughout the day, our body actually senses that as a stress. So there's four main areas that our body perceives as stress. So I know a lot of you would be feeling the emotional one the most, but we have to consider that all of those other things will trigger the sympathetic nervous system or the fight or flight response. So the second part of the nervous system is called the parasympathetic nervous system. And this one's nickname is the rest and digest. So when we're nice and chilled, we'll be digesting better. Obviously we'll be relaxed, we'll have more balanced neurotransmitters, more balanced hormones, all that kind of stuff. So that's the one that we really want to activate, and that's the one that I'm going to be focusing on with the supplements, the essential oils, and the other supportive measures today in this video. So now, I think the thing that you guys really want the most is to know about the supplements and the essential oils, because they're the ones that are going to give us a bit of like a bit of relief that we can feel a little bit more instantaneously. So I'll start there for you. Now, the first things I'm going to talk about is the supplements, and the first ones I'll probably talk about is the nutrients. So I'm going to talk about 4 nutrients that I use as an adrenal cocktail. So this is to support the adrenal glands after it's been through a course of lots of stress, because it can cause that feeling of burnout. So these are not just to calm the nervous system, but to support energy levels as well. But these do provide a lot of relief. Now, the first one that you guys would know most about is magnesium, but I'm going to talk about two specific types of magnesium. So the first one is magnesium threonate. So magnesium threonate is a specific type of magnesium that really gets into the central nervous system. So a lot of magnesiums, you would have potentially heard of people taking magnesiums and it going straight through them, potentially getting softer stools, diarrhea. And that's because some types of magnesium are laxative. Some types of magnesium are better for the muscles. This one's better for sleep and for anxiety. So magnesium threonate, amazing. So good. Another magnesium, and this one is one that is really easily accessible. So this one's called Optima Relax, and that's from a brand called MedLab. This one I think is available now in chemists easily. So this is why I wanted to show you this one. So this one is a really good blend of magnesium bisglycinate, which is a really easily absorbed form of magnesium. So you're not going to get that straight through your body kind of effect, but it also has glutamine, which is something that heals the gut lining. So if we're talking about the way that our neurotransmitters are created, you know, like it's like 70 to 80% of our neurotransmitters to make us feel calm and happy are created in the gut. So making sure that we have like great gut health is really actually good for the brain health as well. So glutamine, which is an amino acid, it's got L-theanine in there. Now, L-theanine is amazing for both anxiety and insomnia. It's got activated B6 in here. So B6 is one of the things that I consider part of my adrenal cocktail, the 4 nutrients, and so is zinc. So in terms of a really good combination, one that's really budget effective, I think that this is a really good blend for you guys. Okay, so we talked about magnesium. The next one is B complexes. So I especially think that B6 is important here, because B6 really is the B that really modulates our mood. But the thing is, when you're taking B vitamins, if you take one in isolation, it can throw out the balance of the other Bs. So taking it as a B complex is a much better way of taking it. So I like to go for, there's a type of B12 that is called Hydroxycobalamin. That's my preferred type of B12 because it really supports energy level production. So if you're feeling a little bit more on the sluggish side, try and find a B12 that says Hydroxycobalamin or Methylcobalamin, because they're the activated forms of B12 is going to give you energy, but B complex. The next one is vitamin C. I love vitamin C for a variety of reasons in this scenario. One, it's one of the nutrients that the adrenal glands absolutely love. We need it for our immunity. So when we're under chronic stress, then obviously we can get run down and we can get sick. But it also drives down that inflammation. So remember, we were talking about our bodies perceiving inflammation as a stress. Keeping down inflammation is really good with vitamin C. Speaking of inflammation, just quickly, Curcumin. So curcumin is the anti-inflammatory part of turmeric. So you could either add heaps of turmeric to your diet, or if you're feeling really inflamed from being stressed chronically, then curcumin is a really good option. Now, zinc. As I said, this is one of the things that I use as part of my adrenal cocktail. It is so integral for mood balance. It is so integral for mood balance, both for anxiety and depression. And then it supports immunity, it supports hormones, it supports your neurotransmitter production, it supports your adrenal function. Like, it's just, it does all the things. So zinc, very important. I'll go through also zinc rich foods. What else have I got here? Oh my gosh, yes. D3, vitamin D, guys. There are multiple medical papers that have found links between anxiety, depression, and vitamin D3 deficiency. So at the moment, I know with lockdowns, it's a little bit harder to get out and get as much sun as we would like to. Try and get it from the sun if you can. But if you know that your vitamin D is below 50, it is more than likely going to be affecting your mental health. So make sure that you're getting your vitamin D. Last nutrient that I'm going to talk about, actually I've got two more. Fish oils. So fish oils are really integral for the for brain health and for lowering inflammation levels. So if you feel that you're getting a bit brain foggy, if you notice that your skin's getting a bit drier than usual, then make sure that you're upping your omega-3. So we'll talk about dietary sources as well, but fish oils are a really quick way of getting it into the body. Now, the last one is probiotics. Doesn't seem like it will be important, but remember, 70, 80, 90% of our neurotransmitters, somewhere around there, are created in the gut. Now, there's a specific strain, and the reason that I've grabbed this particular one from Eagle is it has a strain of probiotic called Lactobacillus Helveticus, and they found that people who have had probiotics with Lactobacillus Helveticus, don't worry, I'll put this in the notes, actually had lower rates of anxiety. So a very important strain there. Now, for people who can't actually take magnesium because it upsets their gut, then you can also get magnesium lotions and magnesium oils, or you can do an Epsom salt bath. Okay, now I'll get onto the herbal medicine. I don't have much of them with me here, so I'll just tell you a few of them. But this has been so helpful from Bioceuticals. They're called Calm Bursts, and it has a herb in there called Kava. Now, Kava is considered one of the herbs that is anxiolytic. And what does that mean? That means it breaks anxiety. So it's if you're feeling in that really anxious state and you just can't get that relief, Kava is the one that will cut through that feeling of anxiety. So these Calm Bursts, they're just like little chewable tablets that when you burst them, the Kava is released. So it's giving you that instant calming effect. Very good. It's also, Kava is a muscle relaxant. So it's really good at, if you're feeling like your body's like really tense, it kind of breaks that anxiety. Now, make sure, as a caveat, anything that I talk about in here, make sure you check if it's appropriate for you with your practitioner, because there are some medications that you can't take with Kava, such as diazepam, because it's a muscle relaxant, and so is a diazepam. It can calm everything down too much, and you can be like, ugh. So just make sure you're checking anything that I talk about with your practitioner first. Okay, now this is another herb that's really calming, but I really love this as a tea. And just quickly, any of the herbs that I talk about, if you don't have access to them as a supplement, if you make them into a herbal tea, then if you're using tea bags, I normally say to make it medicinal, get 3 tea bags and steep it for 15 minutes before drinking, because then you're getting a really good amount of that herb into the cup. So puka, don't know how to say it, but their Tulsi clarity is amazing. So Tulsi is also called holy basil, and it is so incredible for the nervous system. It really creates that feeling of if your mind's really scattered and you're kind of going everywhere with your thoughts, clarity, Tulsi clarity. It is incredible. So it's also used traditionally for people who feel that, oh, I just can't get through this. When is this going to end? And perfect for this situation. So it's really, if you're feeling like you're stuck and you just don't know where this is going and you need some support because you're feeling really low, Tulsi's beautiful. Some other herbs that are incredible for sleep specifically, so valerian. A lot of people know about valerian already. Some people have the other effect from valerian where it can keep them up. I'm actually one of those people. But valerian traditionally is really good for getting people to sleep and staying asleep. So there's a product that you used to be able to get it at the chemist. I think you still can, but it's called Redormin, and that's a combination of 2 sleep herbs. So it's valerian and hops extract. So hops is obviously what they make beer with, but it creates, when you're drinking beer and you have like that kind of calm feeling, that's the hops in there. So those are really great. Passionflower is an incredible anti-anxiety herb. So is Skullcap. Chamomile is a really amazing herb for generalized anxiety disorders. So at this point when everyone's feeling anxious, it's really supportive. Skullcap, going back to the Skullcap, it's actually used for anxiety and mild depression. What else can I tell you guys? Saffron. I've done a post specifically on this herb twice because I love it so much for depression, because it's considered what's called a nervine tonic. So it's when your nerves have been all over the place and you're feeling low at the same time. Saffron is a nervine tonic and it's going to balance and tonify your nervous system. How beautiful is that? Lavender is a great antidepressant, anti-anxiety herb. And actually that might be a beautiful segue into talking about the essential oils that are specific right now. So I have to say historically, but there are papers on this, lavender oil is so beautiful for anxiety and depression. So there's a couple of ways that I like to use my essential oils, but I'm going to teach you one that has just been really helpful, especially when I do public speaking and stuff like that. And I've got like that nervous jitteriness and I just can't calm down. I have just popped a couple of drops on my hand, rub them together, and 3 deep breaths. This does 2 things. You're getting the oil very quickly to the brain. So our olfactory system, which is our sense of smell, is one of the quickest ways to the brain. I can actually feel I'm having that calm down effect from the lavender right now. But it calms your nervous system very quickly. And the other thing that it does with doing that inhalation is it's actually the deep breathing exercise is really calming for the nervous system. So you're getting the effects of this essential oil, but also consciously doing those deep breaths really helps to calm you down as well. So that's lavender. Vetiver. So vetiver has been given the nickname of liquid Xanax or liquid sleeping pills because it is so incredible for sleep. I get such good feedback from my patients about this particular oil. Historically, it's been used even with children with ADHD. So for you mamas and papas who have got kids at home and they're starting to run rampant in lockdown, then vetiver is a really beautiful oil for just calming the nervous system, but specifically for sleep, it's really good. Now, frankincense. So frankincense, lavender and wild orange actually got me off Valium. So they are super, super calming for the nervous system. But also, if we're talking about the inflammation in our body being one of those stresses that's going to decrease how we feel, then frankincense is an inflammation finder in the body. So I will diffuse this one, but I also will rub it on my body. So I rub it underneath my feet because within 20 minutes it gets into the bloodstream and creates that anti-inflammatory and calming effect. So a lot of people with depression also have a lot of inflammation in the brain. So getting this one in is incredible. What else have I got here? Oh, Copaiba. Oh my gosh, guys, Copaiba. If you're not onto this one already for moods and stress and anxiety, you need to be. It is so calming. Historically, this one has actually been used clinically for anxiety because it works on the same pathway in the brain as CBD oil does. So this one you can actually use in the diffuser. I love to diffuse this for insomnia as well. So good for insomnia. But you can get it in soft gels as well. So by getting it in the soft gels, these are supplements that you can take at nighttime for if you're feeling the effects of insomnia. Going back to actually that Passionflower that I was talking about herbally before, I forgot to mention that's actually used for insomnia as well. So we've talked a lot about the anti-anxiety, but I want to talk about the uplifting ones as well. So if you're feeling a bit flat mood-wise, a bit depressed, a bit low, then the best oils are actually the citrus. So I've got lemon and I've got a citrus blend. So I tend to like to layer the citruses because they are just so uplifting. They really, if you're feeling down low, they're the uplifting ones that will bring feelings of joy, and they actually do calm as well. So a combination, if you're feeling like you're anxious and low at the same time, then I actually layer my oils. So for example, I will get like Copaiba and lemon together and diffuse them during the day. And then for sleep, my favorite sleep blend is lavender, Copaiba, frankincense, and vetiver. So good. So if you're really feeling like insomnia is a bad one for you, then this blend here, lavender piece, was actually designed for sleep. So this one's in a roller, so you can roll it under your feet, like I said, gets into the bloodstream, is really effective. Okay, so they're the things that are really going to give you that kind of break so that you can have a little bit of an uplift in your mood or a calming down. Now we need to talk about the other things that you can do lifestyle-wise that's going to really support you. So the first one is food. I'm really passionate about eating whole foods, and there's a few reasons here why that's going to be really important. The first one being that we actually need core nutrients to be able to create the neurotransmitters that make us feel calm and make us feel happy. So going back to the nutrients that I talked about before, so vitamin C, zinc, magnesium, and Bs. So a few foods that are really rich in these things that are going to support the mood. So nuts and seeds, guys. Nuts and seeds are like little bombs of nutrients for our mental health. So they have zinc, they have magnesium, they have vitamin E, which is anti-inflammatory. They have essential fatty acids, down-regulating the inflammation, supporting that neurotransmitter production, because we need those beautiful oils to create our neurotransmitters. Eggs actually have a good amount of tryptophan in them, which is then converted in the body into serotonin. So serotonin is known as like the happy hormone, or the happy neurotransmitter, sorry. So tryptophan rich foods are cashews, bananas, turkey, and eggs. What else can I tell you guys? Medjool dates, actually, if you're craving sweets, because normal sugary kind of stuff will make you more inflamed. So medjool dates have a lot of antioxidant minerals and stuff in there that are going to support your whole health. What else? So meat actually is a really good source of B group vitamins that are really bioavailable in the body, which means that they're really easy to absorb. Now, caveat on that, it has to be a good source of meat, otherwise it's pro-inflammatory. So I'm talking about organic grass-fed meat. So you'd be better off having like once or twice a week just a little portion of grass-fed organic meat, rather than having meat all the time that's coming from a poor source. Cherries. Cherries, guys. The Montmorency sour cherries. They have a natural amount of melatonin in there, which is what helps us get to sleep and stay asleep. Naturally, we create melatonin in the brain, but if you can get it from food sources as well. So I get the dried Montmorency tart cherries. You can get it in a juice form as well if you can't access them fresh. Pistachios are also a wonderful source of melatonin. So there's some of the main specific things, but also just remembering to get fruits and vegetables. So many fruits and vegetables, because those are the things that are going to keep your gut health happy, which then keeps your microbiome happy, which then creates the neurotransmitters. So getting lots of fruits and vegetables with their skins on, lots of berries because they're antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. And I would say getting a mixture of different colors of foods, because obviously different food colors have different nutrients in them. So making sure you're getting that variety. Okay, lastly is more about lifestyle stuff that you can do. So the nerve that runs from our brain to our gut that triggers that rest and digest part of the nervous system is called the vagal nerve, or the vagus nerve. So there's a few ways that we can trigger the vagus nerve just to help to calm us down. The first one is something that I love to do, and it's singing. So singing actually stimulates that vagus nerve. Drinking lemon water activates the vagus nerve. Tongue scraping. So have you seen those? They're like a wire thing that goes like this, and you scrape it down your tongue to get the coating off. Not only will that reduce inflammation because you're getting rid of toxins, but it actually stimulates that vagal nerve. And bitter foods. So like radicchio, dandelion root tea. My patients would know I bloody love that tea. So good for detox. So getting rid of that inflammatory stuff. So that's the most of the information about the vagal nerve. Second one is hydration, because another stressor on the body is dehydration. So making sure that you're drinking a really good amount of water through the day. If you feel like you drink water and you're just peeing it out straight away, put a little bit of Himalayan salt in your water in the morning, and that actually helps to keep the water assimilated into the body rather than peeing it straight out, and it's actually supportive for the adrenal glands. That's why when you're feeling stressed, you might crave salty chips or something. It's you actually craving the electrolytes to keep hydration in and support the actual adrenal gland itself. Okay, now going back to that lighting issue, so getting that sleep-wake cycle happening when you need it to. So the best time to go to sleep is about 10 o'clock, and the best time to wake up is about 6 o'clock. So what is a really good thing to do in preparation for sleep is making sure that your lighting is suitable and tells your brain that it's getting into night mode. So just for example, if you have LED lights all through your house, it looks like to your brain, to your lizard brain, your primal brain, it looks like it's daytime. So you're not going to get that kind of production of something called adenosine, which is something that downregulates the cortisol so you can get sleepy, and it's going to stuff up your natural melatonin production, which is what helps you get and fall asleep and stay asleep. So first off, I would say put low lighting through your house, like salt lamps, soft lighting, orange globes as opposed to those bright blue LED lights. Secondly, I would get blue blocking glasses. You guys should know by now I love these. So these ones are my like daytime ones. If I'm spending time on the computer or talking to patients, stuff like that, these are the ones that I wear. So those ones are from Baxter Blue. I love those ones. But the ones that I've invested in recently are from Blue Blocks, and these are the ones that really tell my brain, if you think about the color of the sunset and it being like the end of the day, it's orangey red. So I've got these sexy bad boys for when it's like 2 hours before bedtime, so that I can tell my brain that it's time for bed. So incorporating those things, changing the lighting, is really integral for that insomnia piece. So do it for the last 2 hours before you go to bed. So ideally about 8 o'clock, and change that lighting. Watch what you're doing with your phone. Put your phone away, guys. It's really triggering for your nervous system. the last thing I would say is, if you're feeling triggered by the news or by social media, put it away. Put it away. You'll find out the things that you need to find out. If it's not good for your health, then make those changes. And same goes for everything that I've talked about today. If something doesn't feel right in your body, like eating too much sugar or staying up too late, if you know that you're doing wrong, really take the stress off of your body. We've got environmental stress. So the less stress that you can cause to yourself is going to be better, obviously. So I really hope that helps you guys. Please like and share with your friends and family so that more people have access to this information. My heart goes out to everybody. I'm here in Melbourne myself as well. So I hope that everybody is okay. And if not, please seek out the help that you need. I'm here. Go to your doctor, speak to a psychologist, whatever you need to do to get the help that you require. So take care, guys, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.